Welcome. I am Johnita Stanton. We have Reginald Perryman, Shaka Williams. We are Tasari. This is the There's Something About Real Estate podcast where we talk all things real estate. Yeah, we're back with Quay and Meech of KW and the Legacy Real Estate Collective. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
That mean we friends now.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Meech.
Big Meech.
No last name.
So,
Family
all right, we're all real estate agents sitting here. Y'all got your license, right? Okay, I was just checking.
I got my Con Ed too. I got my Con Ed.
Did you?
I did my Con Ed.
I haven't done mine.
Yeah.
I always do my Con Ed 2 days before it's about to it's over. Always.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. So y'all get investor calls from the real estate side, people that want to come and invest in Detroit. Are y'all like saying, okay, if they say, okay, I want to invest in Detroit, what questions are you asking them up front?
I'll start. I just actually picked up my about second international client. So I got some clients I'm working with from Israel right now. So when they called, I actually answered by mistake because I thought it was spam. I was chasing the kids and I answered and first thing I'm trying to figure out how serious they are, right? Because Detroit is such a buzz city. Everybody wants a piece of Detroit. And not everything that they're hearing is the truth, right? Everybody's think you still can buy these $1,000 homes, which is out there. No knock to those.
Right.
But if you're calling me from an agent perspective, that $1,000 home is not going to do much for me, right? So I'm trying to understand, like, what's your overall goal? What's your overall picture? And how do I fit into that? So I'm asking some of those qualifying questions, like, do you have a pre-approval? I'm understanding. Do you have proof of funds? Like, what's your goal?
That proof of funds be key.
Yeah,
What's one of the things y'all getting this for everybody? When you ask people, well, what type of return on investment are you looking for? What's like the number one answer or response?
25%.
As much money as you can get me.
Exactly.
That's the
the number one answer I get or response I get. It depends.
Yep.
Yeah.
I say it depends on what? Well, it depends on how much it costs.
Yeah.
I say, what's your budget? It depends.
Right.
Look,
I say, what are you financing or paying cash? It depends.
Depends.
All right,
Everything
what do you want me to do for you?
Right.
How can I work under these conditions?
I had a guy, he flew in from Dallas, got my number from somebody else, and it was that same conversation. All right, what you looking to buy?
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. He like, I saw this neighborhood, all the hot stuff. So at that point, I'm like, all right, he's been reading. All right, cool. You got a proof of funds? Oh, I can't get it until I go back home. Like, all right, so what we really doing?
Right.
I told you, I sent that message to Reggie, a guy. I said, he told me that, what did he say? I don't have time for this, because I asked him for proof of funds. He said, I don't have time for this. I said, I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And be safe.
So I remember, like, in my younger days, right? A guy called and he was like, yeah, I'm going to be in town this Friday and I want to see some properties. I'm looking to buy 4 or 5 properties.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I got me a rich investor, right? Man, that man drove me around. It was like I was an Uber driver before Uber.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like, one of the red flags is, and I'm saying this for all the investors out there, if you call me on a Thursday and you say you're going to be in town on Saturday, you want to see some homes, I'm not taking you serious. Because if you lack planning, like you knew you was coming here a month or 2 ago, right? Unless you just got a hot deal like on Spirit or something, right? I don't want to do business with you because if you just spur of the moment like that, like find another realtor. And plus, any homes that might be available are probably not good deals.
Man,
like
you got somebody on his team that'll take them out.
I trained
he's not showing you anyway.
he ain't
going anywhere.
But I trained him not to do that. But I think the mindset of like some investors are like, you have a $30,000 listing or something, and they're like, Yeah, well, they take 27. I'm paying cash. Well, no shit. It's 27.
29.
Everybody
Right.
Oh
paying
my
cash,
God.
right?
Right.
So it's like, I think people are just talking and not really realizing what they're saying.
I
It's
had
like,
somebody tell me one time, people don't have $200,000 in cash. Yes, they do.
You're talking to the wrong people.
Yes, they
Right.
do. Like it was a buyer who really, he's looking at the properties,
Mhm.
and one of they want a deal, and it's okay to want a deal. There's nothing wrong with they're out here.
Right.
But and this was like when the market was a little bit more aggressive. And a lot of, and I'm not talking about COVID 20 those, I'm talking
Right.
about before that, like 2016, 17, 18,
When
somewhere
it
around
first
there.
started coming
Yeah,
back.
and you still had you had the bidding wars, but not necessarily like the appraisal guarantees and like that
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
And he was constantly getting beat out, and I'm like, yeah, people are paying cash. They do.
Right.
Especially for the types of properties that you're looking at, probably in Oakland County somewhere, got some equity, needs a little bit of TLC, that kind of
Right.
thing. Like, no, people have the cash to do this.
Right.
And a 250 mortgage should beat 200 cash all day.
They don't give a
Cash
shit.
ain't always
It
king.
ain't.
Yeah.
Right.
But I got a question for y'all. So in the current, so we are in October, the middle of October already.
Yep.
And what are y'all seeing as investors in this time in Detroit? So in terms of like do you feel like the flips are flying off the shelf? Do you feel like they sitting on the market a lot longer? What are y'all seeing?
I just feel like we have to really be responsible in this time in terms of picking the right areas, the right strategies for those areas, and then being conservative with the ARV or
Yep.
after repair value. So one thing we're really great at is before we get into a deal, we're going to fully analyze what's happening in the market. Like, so we'll take a longer view, so you look at like a half year or a year, but
Right.
then we'll also shorten it to say what's happening in the last 1 to 3 months. And then we'll also look at the current inventory. So we're seeing that inventory is creeping up a little bit, and there's different factors that, is causing that. But if inventory is up a little bit, then what's the fast ARV? So not just the ARV, but what's the fast ARV?
Yep.
So with the ones that are selling in 1 week, 2 weeks, what are those prices? So now we're planning based on that. So when we send the offer, let's say we'll do 70 to 80% of that ARV. We'll subtract the repairs, whatever our closing costs and those type of things are. And then we'll arrive at a number that it may or may not make sense to the seller, but this is our number, and is based on data that supports it, that takes into account recent history.
So
And
y'all
if they don't accept your offer, you walk away, right?
So
you'll try to negotiate, but
like one off, we just had an offer. We said 200, they said 203, whatever. I'm not about to fight 3,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
but I'm saying if they were
but if they're
215, you're not gonna try to force it in.
If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, because you don't want to be the one left holding the bag, especially when you have so many people that, like, we get this deal. We have lenders, investors, whatever you want to call it. We got the contractors. We got everybody. So like it's so many. We got our families. We got this. Like
right.
It's intricate parts that goes
you
into
don't.
each of the deals, and I see often too many people go in a deal looking at the highest possible comp that's out there. And
Right.
that's never what you're aiming for. At least not our strategy. We never like, all right, highest comp 260. I know we can go get the 260. No, that's not how I'm playing. If I get it, that's great. But we're not playing. We're more conservative. Like I said, we're sticking to the numbers, and our deals are based on analyzing the numbers. Of course, you put a certain, all right, let me ride the neighborhood during the day. Let me ride it at night. What I know that's going on over there. I'm from Detroit, so if we're doing it in Detroit, I usually know what's going on with the neighborhoods, and then I'm in the community. We're in the community, so
And we test it with other investors sometimes, because we might say, "Hey, we got this deal. This, what you guys think? and
we got this
and
deal.
we get a lot of feedback from that.
Yeah.
But I think he was asking
right?
about like current days on the market. And I like what you said because I pulled back a lot too, to where I'm looking very close, like somewhere between. I'm stopping at like 160 right now on days on. I mean. So not like I'm not going out 180 days.
Right, gotcha.
I will look at last year to see what happened, but it's just not important right now.
Yeah.
It's just what's happening. I think right now in the market, it's exactly like what is happening right now. I can only go by like what's happening today from like the last 90 days.
Yep.
And then like we got to try to predict like going forward. So we have to look at it 2 times. We got to look at it before we buy it, and then once we get it all ready, we gotta look at it again.
I look at it the whole damn
like,
time.
You know,
I look at it almost every week.
You buying it between changing markets too.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And the time to rehab it.
Yeah, like
that's
so now we're dealing with a situation to where we're not only talking about seasonal, and then like our typical like quarterly real estate fluctuation. We got other stuff happening that we can't really quite explain.
Right.
Election, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
but what are y'all seeing? Are y'all seeing
So here's the funniest thing that happened to me, right? It happens so often. I'm like, is it something in the water? Because like I'll get an investor, they'll call me after they already acquired the property. And they're like, can you go over and look at this property? I'm in the middle of rehabbing it, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Now I run the numbers for them. I'm like, okay, you can get maybe 260, 265 is your range. And they're like, oh, I need to get at least 290 for it. And I'm like, oh, then you shouldn't have brought it.
Right.
Oh.
Like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, if you need to get 290, you shouldn't have brought it. Like, simple as that.
Before you say something.
Like me said, it's this one comp that sold for 295 I seen on Zillow. Right. Yeah, but they didn't tell you. For one, is you got 800 square feet more, and they paid $15,000 in concessions. Right. Like you missing out a whole lot.
That's true.
And that's the one outlier for the entire area. Yep. You shouldn't have based it on that. I get so many investors that's trying to get the market to reward them for their bad decisions. And I'm like, it just don't work like that.
Because we all know you make money on the buy, not the sell.
Exactly. First of all, and on the buy, not the contractor, because that's where everybody really mess up. But
explain that. They try to cut the contractor to make the numbers.
People buy high, they buy the property high, and now they want to go shop for the least expensive contractor, and then they wonder why their shitty product is sitting on the market.
Right.
And so, you should have bought the property for less, and then you should have spent more money on your rehab, and then your property would have sold.
Right.
I like that.
But my question that I'm asking everybody here, because we all investors, are y'all seeing? So what I'm personally seeing. So I'm from Pontiac, right? I can control whole areas. I can control so I used to invest on the north side, mainly north side, some west side. Yep. The historical areas on the west side and mainly on the north side, right? So you can control the comps in Pontiac, right? You can control the whole area. I can go with buy 3 homes. I own the comps now.
Exactly.
Right.
And so I was trying to find pockets here in Detroit where you could do that. Right. And I thought I found the pocket.
Good luck.
So I thought I found Bagley.
Like we got like 7.
So once we got one of our other people's house sold and you had one. You had one that damn near 300,000.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is where we at, right? I'm like, okay, Bagley is increasing.
Right.
So let me go over there. I can buy enough houses, or we can buy enough houses over here where we can keep the comps going.
Right.
But a lot of people was getting scared. I think a lot of people don't know how to invest.
Right.
And then they were getting scared and they were letting their house go.
Yeah.
Nice rehabs.
Right.
Really nice rehabs.
For 260, 245.
Killing the whole market over there.
But they wanted theirs and got out.
That's the thing about that area.
They got theirs and got out.
So,
no, they sold it. They taking way less.
The problem with that area in particular is it's always been all over the place. It's a really big legal description, first of all, that has different size houses with different amenities.
Yeah.
And then There's an investor that has bought they had a blanket loan on a bunch of houses over there.
Ali, whatever the hell the name is. Yeah.
No, it's not. But
Mhm.
so they
No, for
they
real.
started to liquidate their portfolio.
They really controlling the market over there.
Yeah, they're really controlling the market.
Yeah.
And I think that they're able to do that because they've owned the properties. It's not like they just got these properties a year ago. They didn't had them probably 10, 15 years or something like that or whatever. And now they moved their tenants out. And now instead of re-tenanting the properties, they're putting them on the market. And so now they're putting this quality product on the market for lower than what it should have probably been in the first place.
Are you talking about the same person that we was trying to buy houses from?
No, so they had two right on Santa Rosa, the one on the corner, the one over here.
They don't have quality product to me though.
Well, no, those couple that we looked at on that block, but if you look at their portfolio as a whole,
at the ones that they've been selling. I don't. Well, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, these are properties. So I'm following them and I'm walking them and I'm looking at this one in particular because they have such a large package of houses over there. I think they're making a larger impact than even some of the newbie investors that's coming over there and letting the houses go, because we have a few of those too over there.
Right.
But
I got a different opinion on that. I see. So it's the newbie invest. I know a lot of the people that's been over there selling. Even your investor that you're dealing with right now. She got a 4-bedroom. I guess I don't want to talk about it. But people that are new investors are killing the market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but isn't that always how it goes? That's even in the stock
as
market.
bad
You see that.
because there's so many people that is so the entry to be a realtor was easy. Right. It was not always easy to get in and be an investor.
Right.
Now people can somehow they find the money from wherever the hell. Like the old girl talking about. People don't have $200,000 in cash.
No, that was a man.
Or whoever it was. So they actually do. People have money from wherever they got it from.
Yeah. Because you got newbie investors, and because social media, you got newbie investors and lenders. And when the newbie inexperienced lender loans to the newbie inexperienced investor, it's chaos.
For sure.
It's something I want to. I think I was starting to try to talk
money to Reggie.
I was just
it's two things.
Right. For sure.
First thing, before we go too far away from it, that me and Reggie went on this listing appointment because you just brought it up a conversation ago. And I think before we got over there, I said, oh, they on Zillow. And, when you pull up Zillow, you put the address in, Zillow says 605 or something like that. I'm and I'm talking to them on the phone, that's not, you don't have that house. And what's happening is, people don't understand, all right, my house is right here, but these houses are, 3 blocks or 4 blocks over this way. Right. Why wouldn't I be 600? Right. Well, I'm not. If I could get you $600,000 for your house, trust me, I would. That's what I would want to do because I earn a greater commission, right? And I think we were at the 375 or something like that or whatever on
the house was trash.
The house was terrible. The family member passed away. It's one of them situations where it's gonna be bad anyways. It's not a rehab property. So they list this house. They didn't choose us to go with, and they end up listing the house for the 605 or 650 or something like that.
Well, you talking about a almost $300,000 variance?
Yeah.
They list this house back in April for this amount, and then they do a price drop to $550, and then I think they do another price drop. But by the time it sells in August, they sell it for, I think it was $363,400, some silly number like that or whatever.
We were just trying to save them time. I mean, to be honest.
That's crazy.
We can't knock them for trying, but I mean,
but it's kind of come on. I'm showing you. So in that particular area, they have some new construction, and then they have the old 100-year-old houses that have been restored.
Then you got the woodwork, that were built in the early 2000s.
Yeah, you got
and theirs was one of them.
Right.
So
hold on. Let me because we don't have long, y'all. So we're talking about current state of the market right now.
Right.
All right. So Reggie is the numbers guy that always talk about days on the market and all that stuff.
Right.
What are you seeing as far as days on the market overall in the city of Detroit?
There's more days on the market, and I'm seeing more inventory coming on the market.
Exactly.
I got certain searches set up for different pockets that I'm interested in, and I'm wait a minute, you mean 4 houses came on the market yesterday? Before that was unheard of. We would see maybe like one listing every couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then it'd be gone. Now I'm seeing like listings pop up. So you had 3 active, 2 coming soon. So I'm seeing more inventory come on the market.
Is that recent as
No,
like,
this has been happening for like the past 2-3 months.
But the days on the market I'm seeing are like about 100 to 120-ish. They creeping up there. Like, and you're talking, overall, to get retail value, like you have to have the patience to at least, that I think that 3 months to.
But you know where that's coming from, though. It's a lot of sellers that have that lag effect. So we've been telling them marketing and everything for years. Put your home on the market is a great time. You can, your properties are selling for this. So after 2020, everybody was pricing their home ahead of the market. So if it's $250, I want $260, and they would get it. Now that same type of seller is pricing at $260, $265, and it's just sitting. Then you start seeing the price reductions.
You're seeing a
then
lot
the
more
news will say, "Oh, home values are decreasing," or whatever.
Kind of true though.
Yeah,
Reg,
but no, it was always a $250 house.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Because I still got multiple offers on several properties.
I hear you, but
right.
Listen to this.
I think it's correction.
You got a house.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it,
exactly.
it's declining. It is technically correcting, but it's declining because you have a house, and real estate doesn't normally decline, right? It normally appreciates, right? What's happening? So we had 280. How many bedrooms and bathrooms was that house?
4, 2, but the basement.
All right, 4-2, 283. Was that sold for 283? All right, you had the one that you sold for damn near 300. That was a nice rehab. How much? What was that?
That was a 4-2.
4-2 sold for 300.
But a lot more square footage.
But it was one of the bigger homes over there.
For sure. And then this one right here. So as far as square footage, you're gonna say Reggie's was how many square feet more?
Probably 600 or 500.
How many square feet was yours?
Or no, 400. It was like 1,900 square feet.
Yeah.
So mine is like 1,500 square feet.
Right.
Yours is probably more like of
But you got a 1,500 selling for 280. Right now you got a 1,500 selling for 250.
No, it was no. That house that you're talking about is still even much different. So that's the thing about Bagley in particular. Like the houses are so different. Right. Like even though it has 4 bed, so he's talking about appraisal. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Sale price, not appraisal. I'm talking about the sale price. So I'm talking about how much it's actually selling for because that determines.
Right. So what I'm saying is when you have a buyer go and look at these 2 houses that are vastly different.
Right.
Then the crazy thing, they're both corner houses too, but they're vastly different. The upstairs is very different, much larger bedrooms. Still the bathrooms are, downstairs, much larger bedrooms, much larger closet space. And then when you get more traditional layout, so you got that full formal living room, full formal dining room. This other property is more of an open concept, much more compact. Right. And then when you go in the basement is very compact. Yeah, and people are like, what's going on with this basement? In the other house that sold for more, the basement, it was a large, nice basement where you can go down there and have additional like entertainment space. And then that particular seller did a better job on their basement. It was old paneling, but they painted it. They epoxied the floor. The presentation was a lot better.
Are they comparables? Are the 2 homes compared? Are they compared? Like if an appraiser came over there, would these 2 be comparables?
Buyers.
I'm talking. Yeah, I'm talking about when the buyer comes in the house and the buyer decide like the buyers like that house, if it was on the market the same 2, that house that sold for more is still gonna get that same kind of attention because it was a different house. The buyer's gonna determine that.
I want to say something. Quay just mentioned it. What you're saying, the appraisal and the market value from the buyer's perspective is going to be completely different. Even though the appraisal, the square footage and the area, all of that lines up, the buyers decide on what's valuable.
The market. The
Right.
market
And so
determines what the
who's
value
writing
is.
the contract? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like if you put a house on a market and then the buyers decide not to buy it, they have determined the price of that house.
Question.
Right.
So let's say that house, so we're gonna call house A the one that sold for $280. Let's say house B was for sale at that same time. How much do you think it would have sold for?
The $260.
What?
Yeah,
There's
see,
no way.
it's like no, it is because I coached another. So
We're gonna have to do
the
this
same.
on
So right, no,
We
no.
gotta see these
Because
houses.
it's the same thing. I just had this conversation around closer to the time. So I had another seller come on the market in the same area. And he follows me around because he likes the way I do my work and my business and stuff. And so he had an agent. And they're basically following my lead and my presentation, or trying to. And so when he finally called me, I'm like, you're not gonna get the same amount of money as the house on the corner from you got. You don't have the same house.
Right.
Agreed.
It's not the same house.
And that's the same.
But he got $265.
So that's what I just answered your question.
No, but I'm not talking.
I said $260.
I see what y'all was talking about.
Yeah, now you see why I'm referee.
No.
Referee red.
No,
But did you hear me answer did you see how I brought it?
No, but you did. But hold on, but you didn't. So I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one the current house.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
So the one you talking about that sold for $265 was always gonna sell for $265. That one was. The one that I'm talking about, there's no way you can. We were thinking $260 for 3 bedrooms.
You said if it was on the market at that time, when House A went on the market, which I said it would sell for $260.
Yeah.
And then I brought up the story about the one that's actually more comparable to House B. That sold for $265.
I don't think it's comparable though. Like even the I mean, so you
Doctor no.
Even the rehab is different. Like stop it. It's not even close.
One thing about Bagley though, and it's Detroit overall, but Bagley in particular, because some of those higher numbers are coming in, it's still block by block.
For sure.
It is.
So you in Bagley, I just had one where and you starting to see a lot of people convert the duplexes into single families.
Right.
So you putting these 6-bedroom homes in a block where they all 3 or 4 bedroom homes, and you're trying to get this price, but there's no comparables in the period.
Oh, they getting them. They're getting them.
And I haven't seen it lately. Them numbers have been dropping.
Put it in. Put it in.
I'm gonna send you some.
Because that's what's happening. The same thing. So
crazy.
If you're in the 17,000 block over there, and because that's where more of the duplexes are and the conversions, and so those houses are selling for like $280 to $315 right now today.
Depending.
Yeah.
I just sold one for $265. That was completely everything touched, but the people next door, the back of their house is falling off.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what he mean by block.
Yeah,
so you know what I'm saying? Like, you got appraised value. Yeah, it should have appraised. But the buyers was like, yeah, we know, but we also know, right?
Hold on, but I totally agree with what he's saying. So you know what's crazy to me when you say block by block is crazy. So you thinking when you in Bagley, if you're starting south, if you're at Curtis, right? You were normally thinking if you go north, you're gonna get more value, right? Not happening.
Depends on where
It's
you're
because of the
getting more
footage.
value than north.
So what's happening is the reason why. So it's taking longer for the ones north because one, they're not as many of those people selling, like the ones that's closer to Outer Drive, and then they don't have the same square footage as the ones that are off 6 Mile.
But you would think that would make it go quicker, because if nobody is selling, that means the inventory is lower. So you would think they would go quicker.
But what I'm saying is the square footage isn't there. So when you're closer to 6 Mile and you got the people doing the conversions and things like that, you still, I've taken plenty of clients over there and they're like, this block is ugly. I don't care how many square feet it got. I'm not buying it.
Right.
But you got some people, for whatever reason, they want those 3,000 square foot houses with the 6 bedrooms and they're weird. And it's got the beds where the old living room is and like all that kind of thing. And they're biting on those. And it's just taking a little bit more time for the ones closer to Outer Drive because they're gonna come.
Right.
Like there's no way that those aren't coming.
You mean come where? Like go back
Go
up
up.
and back?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a minute now because there's no reason. They had it. It was there. It was going up. It was appreciating.
Yeah.
I agree when he's
You
saying.
saying the newbies messed the market up.
It up. Yeah, they killed it. Like make you don't even want to. Like I had to change my whole strategy. I said I don't even want to flip no more. Like, you know what I mean? They don't even know what they doing. Like,
right, it's stepped on.
Like, this is crazy. Like, people coming in, I get it. That, you know, they spending their life savings in they one deal, thinking they're going to get rich off of the one deal, making bad investments. So now they got a fire sale.
Right.
That's what I feel like it is. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a more seasoned investor would have, you know, like you got to have more than one exit strategy, like you're saying. So, which is why we pivoted. You know what I'm saying? Like, we pivoted and like, you know what? Can't even flip this shit no more. I got to hold on to it and just, because I think that Bagley is one of those areas that is, at some point, I don't think it's getting ready to happen within the next 5 years, though.
But see, that go back to what Quay was saying. Somebody that's looking at an investment property now, you know, you got some investors that'll come in and be like, oh, I can do comps, and they'll go back 6 months to a year, right? But like Quay was saying, like everything that you're saying is the stuff people need to be looking at, so that they don't go in there like, oh, I gotta get 290. They calling me saying, oh, I gotta get 290 because they 260 all in. It's not gonna work for you.
And to that point, whoever they working with, or if they not working with nobody, that 290 comp expired a month after you bought the property.
Yeah.
And you still got 4 more months of rehab.
But here's the thing: they got a newbie lender, and it's a newbie investor, and they brought the house from a newbie wholesaler. And a newbie wholesaler was nobody's giving them
everybody
accurate
overpaid.
Data.
Except for the end buyer who was buying at the corrected.
So what was your question? The state of today's market.
We answered it.
Longer days on the market.
Yeah.
Longer days on the market, more inventory coming, but we're actually normal.
Like you said, it's a buyer's or seller's market.
It's balanced. It's getting more balanced now. And it depends on the house, because I still got properties with multiple offers, but 3 to 4 months on the market is a normal market. People panicking, and that's...
Hold on, but that's crazy to say. So you asked him that question, and he said it's normal. We have low inventory, and we don't have enough homes for people that want to buy homes.
Right.
And you talking about it's normal and not a seller's market. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What? When have you ever seen that?
Because the sellers that are... A lot of sellers on the market are... Their pricing, they jumped ahead of the market. They're thinking it's still appreciating.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's declining.
Yeah, if you say whatever it is, they not get what they want.
You just described, a declining market. I was looking at it myself. I was like, damn. Everybody kept saying declining market.
And an inflated market that's coming back to closer to
normal.
reality.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why I'm getting ready to buy.
Right.
And sell.
But having those options, such as we know appraisals are still coming in. So worst case, like we want to be able to refi, get a tenant in there, cover that debt commitment, and still we can pay off our investors with that, and then we can move on to the next property. That's like that B, C, D plan.
Right.
Are you saying you selling it for less than you would want to, or are you holding it?
No, like if we hold it. So like right now we got a few properties in Herman Kiefer. I mean, we just got a $240,000 appraisal on a single family property. I mean, if we was to take it to market, will we get that number? Other people haven't. So
you got that on DSCR?
Nope.
That one was
private cash.
Right.
So all private cash, because, and that's it. I mean,
the appraisal,
the refi.
So the appraisal,
the appraisal was based on the refinance. If you bought at the market, you'll get it. It'll
on the DSCR. So I'll stop after this, Chris. On the DSCR, we're seeing way lower appraisals than you would get if you actually sold it.
They're being
we're seeing the opposite.
Yeah, it's based on the area they in too.
Yeah. So all of it matters.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we did our analysis. We planned for 200.
Exactly.
So y'all seen?
What's that? Well, when we get off, I'm gonna need the address.
Well, hold on. So have you done a DSCR recently?
No.
Oh, you've been flipping everything.
Flipping. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we seeing the opposite.
But I ain't flipped in Detroit
in
over a year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what we seeing is, which is why we changed. Actually, even on our DSCR. Like, we are seeing way lower appraisals on the DSCR.
But I think it's because they're out of state. So I brought our lenders back in state.
There you go.
So I just and I feel like that's what I'm gonna know on Thursday.
We're gonna see, right?
Because it'll be my second test to see if I'm correct.
Y'all using local lenders? Local Michigan? Not out of state.
Michigan
Okay.
lenders, appraisers that understand Detroit. That's another
But
thing.
they're bringing so what I'm seeing is I've seen these appraisers before. Like, it's not my first time seeing these people. But for some reason, when it's coming to the out-of-state lenders, the appraisals are, I don't know what they're getting on the back end, but they're being way more conservative when it's the out-of-state lender. But when it's the in-state lender, and it could be the same appraiser. I don't know. Like, I would have to wait until I get another call or something like that or whatever. But all I'm saying is I've seen these appraisers before on just a traditional, like, retail sale.
Yeah.
Not just, so I would say that they don't understand as well. I'm not sure about that part.
I don't think that's the case. Joe explained it. He's an appraiser. He explained it as, I'm sorry, Chris. He explained that lenders are pushing against higher appraisals in the city of Detroit, like point blank period. That's what they doing.
So we got a case on our hands.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Like in real life, it's crazy to say. And I said his name.
My last two flips have been Westland and Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right, y'all. That's a wrap.
Money at.